I welcome all the listeners of this video. This is the third session on JavaScript. Previously, we have discussed regarding the JavaScript in 2 sessions. In the first session, we have discussed how the script tag can be used in head section and how the script tag can be used in body section and how we can use the script tag in an external file and how we can link that file to the program. We have seen examples also on these 3 things in the previous section. In the next session, we have discussed regarding the variables in JavaScript, how to define variables in JavaScript, and how can we make use of those variables, and how to print variables, etc. For the completion topic, we have just 2 keywords: let, const. So there is usage of those two keywords. Today's session will start and write JavaScript. After the completion of data type, we will see next topics we have this session. So before going to say, so let us what we have just in the previous session. So the theory part regarding the keywords. Let keyword was not in JavaScript before ES6. Before ES6, we don't have let keyword in Java. But from the ES6 version, the code produced in the JavaScript. So we have variables in of types, local variables, and global variables. The things define the function are called outside of the functions are called global. So plain access everywhere in the program, but the variables defined var keyword var, what we have seen in the previous session also. We defined some variables with the keyword var. So let keyword here. So we declare some variable with let keyword, and the variable defined with the let the variables defined with the let keyword inside the block. We have access values of those variables only inside the block. They cannot be accessed outside of the block. So let us check how this will work. Right? Then constant keyword, common keyword we have used in the programming language. Make the value variables use the constant keyword. Similar to the C programming language, in JavaScript also use the constant keyword to make the values in the variables. So let's take example on programming window here. Right. This was the program what we have seen in the previous session during the declaration and assignment of values to the variables. Now let us take one more new HTML page, right? So let us start working here with the keywords of let and constant, right? So let us have HTML and head section, and inside the head section, I want a title called as let constant keywords. Let constant keywords is the title of my web page. Sorry, title of my web page, and then close the head section. Now open the body section. Inside the body section, define a script tag. Because we are working with JavaScript, we need to include all the code that was related to JavaScript within the script tag within the HTML. Sorry, within the script tag within HTML page, right? So in the script tag, first of all, I will show what will happen if we use variable, that is var keyword, and then I will show the difference what happens if we use let keyword, right? For example, in JavaScript, if we want to define a variable, we use the keyword called as var, right? We use the keyword var, and then, for example, my variable name is a, and I'm storing some value 100 inside this variable, right? And I'm using a block. I'm defining a simple block. It is not a function or it is not any other thing. I'm just defining a simple block in order to explain what is block scope, right? So inside the block, I'm defining, right? I'm defining the same variable where the value of variable inside the block is 200, right? Now I want to print the value of A within the block and outside of the block. So let us observe what will be the value of A within the block and outside of the block. So here, if we want to display something on the output screen in JavaScript, we use a statement called as document.writeLn. So document is the name of the object, which is similar to Java. In Java, we use system.out.println, where system is a class name, out is an object name, println is a method name. Similar to that one, we don't use classes here. So here we directly start with object. Document is an object, so document dot writeLn is a method which will print something on the output screen. So document dot writeLn. Here I want to print the value of A over the output screen. Similarly, I want to rewrite the same statement outside the particular block. Document dot writeLn. I want to print the same A value here, right? So now just close the script tag because the JavaScript code is completed. Now close the body tag and then close the HTML tag. Now let us save this code as some l.html because we are working with let keyboard. I am saving this one with l.html. Now open the l.html file. Right, you can find it here. It is l.html. So make a double click on this one. It will display the output of one second. It will display the output of our code. So you can observe here. One second. You can observe here. We are getting 200 and 200. So here if you observe the program, the value of A is 100 initially, and then we updated the value of A to 200. Now if we print the value inside A within the block and outside of the block, we are getting the same 200 and 200, right? So now let us see what will happen if we use let keyword here in place of var with inside the block. We are going to use the let keyword, and we will try to print the value of A within the block and outside of the block. So please observe here. Along with that, I'm updating. Let us see with some clarity. I want to print the document.writeLn inside block document.writeLn outside of the block. Right? So please observe. Right? Make a refresh here. So inside block 200, outside of the block 200. So when we define a variable with var keyword, now let us use the keyword let here. So we have defined a variable a where the value of a is 100 outside the block, and but for inside block we are making the value of a as 200. So now observe what will be printed over the output screen. I am saving this code by pressing on Ctrl S. Now I'm making a refresh here. Right. If you make a refresh here, the values are updated. Inside the block, the value of A is 200, and outside of the block, the value of A is 100. Previously, we got the output inside block 200, outside of the block 200. That means the value of A got updated, and the same updated value is printed within the block and outside of the block. But when we define the same variable with let keyword, we are getting the output as 200 and 100, because the scope of this 200 variable will be from this particular starting braces to this ending braces, because the variable was defined with the keyword called as let keyword, and that is the meaning of block scoped. That is the meaning of block scope. The same thing, let us define the thing with variable, and let us use a function. In order to define a function in JavaScript, we use the keyword function. So I have defined a function with the name my. Now let us call the function, right, my function. So now the value will be different. Inside the function it will be 200, and outside of the function it will be 100. Please observe. Make a refresh here. So outside of the block it is 100, inside of the block is 200. So if we are using a function, it is a different criteria. But now I am not speaking about function, I am only speaking about block. If there is a block, right, if there is a block, and if inside the block, if we define a variable with var keyword, then this value will get updated throughout the program. And at the same time, when we use the let keyword here, the value of A will be updated from these two, between these two braces. And outside of the braces, the value of A will be 100. So let keyword is used to bring some block scoping. Right? So whenever you want to have certain value inside a block, then we can use the let keyword. Right? So next one, let us make let us see how the constant keyword will work, right? So if the same A variable, right, same A is defined with constant keyword, constant A equal to 100, and then we try to change the value of A to 200. Let us use the variable here, value of A to 200, right? And we try to print the value of A within the block and outside of the block. I'm saving this code by pressing on Control S. Let us go to the output window and make a refresh here. If I make a refresh here, I am getting nothing. I'm getting no output for this program. No output is because we have made some error here. We are trying to change the value of A to 200, where the variable A is defined as 100. So let us skip this particular line. So let us delete this particular line, right? And observe, save this program and observe the output here by making a refresh. So if I deleted the statement which is changing the value of A inside the program, then we are getting output. So in case we don't have errors, then we get the output for JavaScript. Okay, so here we are getting the inside block value is 100 and outside block value is 100, because A value is 100 and which is defined as constant, right? So if we try to, for example, if I try to change the value of A to 200 here, right? I'm saving this code and please observe the output here. So I am getting the output up to inside block 100. That means I am getting the output up to this particular statement. After this statement, when I try to change the value, so we are getting from, right, we are getting from this point to outside of the program, this point to outside of the program. So when we use this constant keyword, right, when we use this constant keyword, we are not allowed to change the value of a throughout the program. So if we try to change the value of a, we will be out of the program without displaying any error or any output. Right now, you can have some clear idea of how constant keyword can be used in order to define a variable as constant. So let us make use of, so previously I have declared here with the keyword variable a equal to 200. So in case I'm not getting any output here, in such case I'm not, 1 second, I'm not getting any output here. So now let us observe what will happen if we use the let keyword and try to change the value of a and save the program with Control S. Now make a refresh here. So if we make a refresh here, so we are changing the value of a to 200 because we can change the value from this point to this point. So by using let keyword, we can make any variable to have some value within some area, that is within one block. Even though we define a variable with constant, till we can change the value of that variable, but it is only applicable, right? It is only applicable from this point to this point. Outside of that point, the value of a will be 100. And if the same thing, right, if we try to change the value of a outside the block, for example, let us use the let keyword, let us use the same statement, let us delete the statement there, and let us try to use the statement here and make a refresh here, and please observe the output, what will happen to the output of the program. So now we don't get any output here, right? So this is how the let and constant keyword will work in JavaScript code. Now let us move to the PPT. There we can see the next topic called as data types in JavaScript, right? So this is where we have ended and went to example. Now let us see the next slide in JavaScript, data types. So each and every language have some data types which will help the compiler that particular variables can store which type of values, right? In JavaScript provides different types to hold different types of values. So there are different types of data types in JavaScript which will be used in order to store different values. So it is similar to all the other programming languages, right? In all the other programming language also, there are different data types. Each and every data type can store only some values. For example, int, it is an integer data type which can store all the integers. Char, it is character data type which can store all characters. Boolean, it is a data type which can store either true or false. Similar to those things, here also we have some data types which will store some values, right? So there are two types of data types, not two types. Data types are classified into two groups, right? So those two groups are primitive and non-primitive data types. In JavaScript, the non-primitive data types are called as reference data types. Okay, so the things which are used for the reference of some variables or some values are called as non-primitive data types. The other things are called as primitive data types, like integer, character, float, etc. Here we don't have all such type of data types, right? So let us see, don't get confused. Let us see what are primitive data types and what are non-primitive data types. So let us see about the primitive data types in JavaScript. So these are the three primitive data types in JavaScript. They are string, number, and boolean. Nothing is there. String, number, boolean are the three. Along with these three, we have two more types: undefined and null. Right? So string, in the sense we all know, a sequence of characters or a collection of characters is called a string, where we define the string within the double quotates. And number, it represents some numeric value. It may be 1, or it may be 100, or it may be 1,000, or it may be 10,000. It represents a numeric value. And boolean, we are all familiar with this one. We have used this boolean in all the programming languages which we have previously studied. It represents only two values, either true or false. At the same time, undefined, if we define a variable with nothing, then it is called as undefined data type. It represents an undefined value. So an undefined variable, or undefined a variable which is defined with no data type, then it can store any type of value, right? And then null, it represents null, that is no value at all. So these are the 5 data types what we have in JavaScript. So let us look at how we can define these data types in a program by using a symbol. So keep one thing in mind. Here there is no need to use string, or there is no need to use number, or there is no need to use anything, right? So let us see about the things here itself. For example, if I have defined variable a equal to 100, and I have defined variable b equal to some CSC, right? If I have defined variable c equal to false, once again, false. So now I want to print those three values here inside the block and outside the block. Those things will never change. So I want to print, one second. One second, right? So I want to print the value of B, and then I want to print the value of C. And similarly, I want to repeat these two statements inside the outside of the block also. So outside of the block also, I want to print these two things. Now let us save this code, and let us observe the output, what will happen in case of these two things. So the program name is l.html. So I don't return another program. I'm just modifying the previous program which was used for inside block. I will show by writing something on the screen. Right here, we have written inside block, and it is the output for this particular statement. And then we try to print the value of A. That's why we got 100 here. And then we try to print the value of B. That's why we got CSC here. And then we try to print the value of C. That's what we got false here. Because the value of A is 100, the value of B is CSC, and the value of C is false. And the same output is for these three things. We get 100, CSC, and false, which means when we define a variable with var keyword, and that particular variable is storing the numbers, and that particular variable is storing the strings, and the same particular variable is storing, I'm clearing all this drawing, is storing the Boolean values. And let us try some more things. Let us use variable d equal to 90.98, which is a float value, and let us use variable e equal to some character C, and let us try to print these two things also Control C, and then let us try to print these two things also here, right? A, B, C. Now it is D, and then E, right? And let us print these two things also here also, D and E. Let us save the code and make a refresh here and observe the output. So if you observe the output, right, we got the value of A as 100, and then we got the value of B as CSC, and then we got the value of value of B as CSC and value of C as false, and then we got the value of D as 90.98, and then we got the value of E as C, right? So I represented those things with different colors, and the same thing is happened for the outside block also. We got 100 CSC, false, 90.98, and C. So I'm clearing all these drawings. Okay, so which means when we store a number, it is called as number data type. So when we declare a variable with var keyword, and if we assign some number to that variable, then it is called as number data type. Okay, and at the same time, when we initialize that variable with a sequence of characters or a collection of characters, then it is called as string data type. It is called a string data type. And similarly, when we declare a variable with the var keyword and we store either true or false, then it is called as Boolean data type, right? And these two things can also be comes under number or string, right? So these are the different data types what we have in JavaScript. At the same time, all these data types are called as primitive data types. So these data types will come along with the programming, along with the scripting language. So we all know that if any data type comes along with the programming, then those data types are called as primitive or default data types. And the data types which we create of our own are called as non-primitive data types or derived data types. So the same thing is common in C, C++, Java, Python, and etc. In JavaScript also it is same, right? So the data types which comes along with the language are called as primitive or default data types, and the data types which we create for our purpose are called as derived data types, right? So, or non-primitive data types. So let us see the non-primitive data types. That means what the data types we can create in JavaScript. So these are, as I said earlier, these are called as a reference. So the things which we use for the reference are called as non-primitive data types in JavaScript. So there are three non-primitive data types, right? So the three non-primitive data types that are supported by JavaScript are object, array, and regular expression. So object represents instance through which we can access members. We all know why we use objects. By using object, we can access the variables and the methods. So here also we use these objects which can be used in order to access the members. And then array, it represents a group of similar values. So we all know that array is a collection of homogeneous elements of same data type. So if there is a data type called as integer, and if we have 5 or 10 values of integers, then we can store them with int a, int b, int c, etc. And if the same integer is having thousands and thousands of values, then it is very difficult to make use of int a or int a1, a2, a3, a4, a and so on. So during those difficult process, in order to store thousands and thousands of integers, we use the concept called as array. And the same thing here also, arrays represents a group of similar values, where the name will be common for all those values, but there will be some difference in case of index. So we know that array index will start at 0 and ends at n-1. So we store those thousands and thousands of value with starting index of 0 to n-1. A regular expression, it represents a regular expression. As you studied flat and one more thing, I think compiler design. In those, you know what is regular expression. So here, that regular expression is it's called as non-primitive data type in JavaScript, right? Object. So let us see how we can create objects in JavaScript. In JavaScript, variables can contain single values. Previously, we have seen one example. Initially, we have declared a variable with the name a, and we have stored the value of 100 inside that variable. And within the block, when we move it within the block, we try to change the value of a with 200. So initially, the value inside the variable is 100, and then the value inside the variable has been changed to 200. So if you observe, at a particular point of time, the a will have 100 or 200. We cannot have 100 and 200 at the same time inside a. And if we try to change the value of a again to 300, for example, we have used the statement a equal to 300, then the 300 will be there inside a. That 100 and 200 will be removed. We cannot place 100, 200, 300, all the three values at the same time inside the variable a. So that is the meaning of this point. JavaScript variables can contain single values. We cannot define, we cannot insert more than one value at a time inside a variable. We can only have one value. We can change the value. That's a different thing. We can change the value. First, we can have 100, and then we can change the 100 to 200, and then we can change the 200 to 300, and so on. And we cannot keep 100, 200, 300, all the values inside the same variable. Not only in JavaScript, in all programming languages, we cannot keep multiple number of values inside the same variable. We can have one value at particular point of time, and we can have another at another particular point of time, right? So now, objects of variables too. So in JavaScript, we call objects as variables or variables, but there is some difference. When we use a variable, as it is said earlier, we can have only one value at a particular time. But in objects, we can have many values, right? So, but objects can contain many values. So let us look how we can have many values inside an object. So the values are written as name value pairs. So name value pairs. We can have one name and we will have one value, and then we can have another name and we will have another value, and next name and the next value. All these things are combined with an object. So object can have multiple values where each and every value will have some name, right? So let us see how we can create objects in JavaScript. So in Java, we can create objects by using new keyword. In C++, we can create objects by statically and dynamically. That is with using new keyword and without using new keyword. And similar to those things, in JavaScript, we can create objects in three ways. There are three ways of creating objects in JavaScript. The first one, by object literal. So I will explain what is object literal and other two ways in the next slide. Don't worry. And the second one is by creating instance of object directly. So creating instance in the sense when we hear the word instance either in Java or JavaScript, that means we new keyword have to come into your mind. Instance means new keyword, right? So the second way of creating an object in JavaScript is by using the new keyword. New keyword in the sense by creating instance of object directly. And the third one by using object constructor. There will be an object class and object constructor. By creating that one, we can create an object for certain things in JavaScript. So there are three ways of creating uh, objects in JavaScript. First one is by using object literal. Second one is by creating instance, and the third one is by using the object constructor. Right. So with this slide, I'm going to close today's session. Right. In the next session, we will have a look at three ways of object creation. That is by using object literal, by creating instance of an object, and by using object constructor. Right. Hope in this session, hope you got some knowledge regarding the let keyword and the constant keyword, followed by different data types in JavaScript, and simply the names of three ways of creating an object. And we have seen about regarding the concepts called as primitive data types and non-primitive data types in JavaScript also. So if you have any doubts regarding this session, you can make comments in the comment section. Right. So I thank each and every listener of this video. I'm very thankful to you for listening this particular video. So in the next session, we will see how we can create objects. As we seen that there are three ways, how we can create objects in those three ways, some in depth. That means how we can create object by using object literal. We will see the theory part and we will follow we will see one example. And then we will see how we can create objects by using instance. We will see the theory part and followed by example, right? And how we can create objects by using constructor. We will see the theory part and we will follow some example, right? So in the next session, we will see how to create objects and how objects can be used in the program. Okay. So if there is time in the next session, we will go for the next topic in JavaScript. So once again, I thank each and every listener of this video for being here from the last 40 minutes. So let us meet in the next session. Thank you once again.